Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Frank Jep. We're out here. I'm going to bring you my 3.7 Great Weapon Fighter build. I did one before the latest double refinement, but I decided there's no point of doing one before and one after. Just scrap the one before and do the one after double refinement. So without further ado, I'll show you my build. I'll break it down. I will go over most of it, and some of the stuff that's not relevant I will skip over. Starting with the build itself and the equipment. Elemental Alliance Solid. I have this for the sheer crit and armor pen. I respected my character a little bit ago, and at the time I needed more crit, so I went along with this. I know it's not best in slot, so with that being said, I did it for the crit and armor pen. I had the two-piece dust set as well. Most of you guys know that the two-piece dust set gives you the set bonus for having two pieces. Gives you 5k hit points, 1k power, 1k defense. And then I have this. I will upgrade this to Elemental once I start working on the Black Ice campaign. Twisted set. A lot of you guys know what the Twisted set does. If you don't, for every time I take a hit, I gain a stack for this, and every time I take a hit on an enemy, I gain a stack of this. This increases my power, this increases my defense. So the set bonus is pretty good. Again, the relic stuff that's coming out will be better than this once it's refined and restored and all that. For the artifact set, I'm running Dorcas. So the girdle, the neck, and the shard. The artifact, the active is the Will of Elements, as most Great Weapon Fighters are. And then again, for this, for the crit and armor pen, and this for the crit and armor pen. Once I start, now that my companion is fully maxed with regards of his enchantments and runestones, I'll start working on mine now. So once my character starts growing and growing, I will flip out the artifacts and items as I need to fill the stats and cap the stats. So back to the rings. We're running +4 precision, +4 rising power, and the shirt and pants is standard with every Great Weapon Fighter. My stats is, as you see, 32k power standing, 17k crit, armor pen's at 4k, and defense is at 64. Or I'm sorry, 16,400. I'll go through a couple other stats down here. My crit chance is 66. I would like to have it around 70. I'm not sure. They say the cap is around 80, but my crit's ready is decent, and we'll get why it's so high here in a second. My resistance ignored, you'll see with the defense, and action point gain 7.8% because I am spec for Slam. And the other ones we're not going to spend too much time on. Back to powers. Most, if not every, Great Weapon Fighters at level 70 will run the same at will Sure Strike, Weapon Master Strike. Right now I'm running Destroyer for my active and Wrathful Determination. For my dailies I'm running Crescendo, which I hardly ever use, and I am spec for Slam, so all I do is hit active Slam. For your encounters, you're going to want to run Daring Shout, you're going to run Indomitable Battle Strike, and Hidden Daggers. For those Great Weapon Fighters who aren't at 65 and don't have these two here unlocked, the Hidden Daggers and Wrathful, I would recommend you go with Restoring Strike because you're going to heal yourself as you're using your Restoring Strike. And then for your other active, use Weapon Master Strike, or Weapon Master I should say. That's until you get to 65. Once you get to 65, start putting stuff in Hidden Daggers and Wrathful Determination. Feats. Again, I am spec for Slam, and I am half orc. So those who are human will have 3 extra heroic feats. I would recommend you fill this up, and then put 1 extra in Unstoppable Action. The reason why I have this at 2 and this at 2 is because I'm spec'd for Slam, and I've seen that I'd much rather have 5% action point gain while unstoppable than 1% crit chance. You know, It was 1%, so why not? Same thing. A lot of these are standard. This is going to be filled no matter what. This is going to be filled no matter what. And this is going to be filled no matter what. And this should be filled no matter what. We're going to keep going with the Feats. A lot of these are cookie cutter. So most of them have these 3 filled with 5 in it. Most of them have these 2 filled with 5 in it. I am specs for Slam, so I have 5 in this. If you didn't want to go with Slam and you want to do something else, I would take 5 from here and put them in Student of the Sword. And then 5 down here on Unstoppable Recovery and 5 down here in Powerful Challenge. I think these are kind of standard here. Boons. We're not going to spend a lot of time on boons because they're boons. They're self-explanatory for a great weapon fighter. As you see, we went the whole bottom row. Power, crit, action point faster, arcane damage for up to 20% or 20,000, and the Elvish Fury, which gains 135 power for 45 seconds. This buff stacks to 30 times. As you see, it's pretty good. Obviously, you're going to want to run the boons that give you high DPS or defense, which, if your character is spec the way it should be, you gain power off your defense. Critical Strike, Lifesteal, because we don't need 400 regeneration. 3% resist ignore because deflection chance, I mean, this is mediocre here. And Rampaging Madness, everyone runs Rampaging Madness. The other ones really should just be taken off the list, to be honest with you. Icewind Dale, all the bottom. 400 combat advantage bonus, 400 stamina, 2% crit severity, 2,000 power based on stamina garden missing, and gain 10% bonus action points when killing a foe. Again, I inspect for Slam. Underdark, the whole bottom, 400 power, 16 hits, 400 crit, 16 hits. Combat advantage bonus increased by 10%. You now gain stamina 5% faster. And the bottom one, gain 10% damage versus demons. The hardest campaign in the freaking game, Tyranny of Dragons. I went with the bottom 3, which is power, crit, armor pen. The top one, which is lifesteal rating, which because 400 regen is not really needed. And I went with the crit severity. Some people are saying that you can put 2 in this and then 1 in the lifesteal, because having 3% lifesteal is pretty good. They're saying that's really all you really need. However, I want to do max DPS. So running with the right crew, with the right cleric and GF and Pally or whoever you're running with at the time, if they're good at what they're doing, you really don't need the lifesteal. I'd much rather have the 1.5% crit severity. Now, if down the road they happen to change crit severity where it maxes out at 100% and I don't need the extra 18%, then my stats and my companions will change. We're not going to go to the guild boons because power defense, that's what I'm running. Maze Engine, 5% life severity, 400 combat advantage points. Your stamina regenerates 10% faster while in combat, and while striking a foe, you have a chance to gain 2,000 crit strike bonus for 6 seconds. The Maze Engine, what we just did, and Elemental Evil. Gains 300 power, 2,000 hits, 4k life steal severity, and 2,000 hits, and 400 crit strike, and 2,000 minimum hits. Oops. We're going to go with companions. I'm running the 2 Archons because of the active bonuses. Increase your damage against targets not at full health by 5%, and additional 0.5% for each Archon. So 5.5%. My active is the fire. I have the 12 bondings. I have a +5 precision. Once I start getting other rings, I'll probably switch this out for my main. And then once I start to get more AD rolling in, I will upgrade the talisman to the Adorable Bites, as well as the rings. But right now I have a +5 precision, a talisman of ice, and a +4 brutality, along with the rank 12 bondings. For my other actives, I have the Siege Master, which gives me 4% damage increase and 8% in the Stronghold. We already went over the Archon. The Nansen Blade, which gives me 5% crit severity, and Aranes from the Scourge Warlock pack, which gives me 10%. That's why my crit severity is at 118%. With these two alone, I'm getting 15%. Again, if they happen to change the crit severity and actually cap it off at a certain point, then I will switch these out for probably another Archon and maybe something else. I haven't really looked into it. On to the mounts. The insignia bonuses we're running on this is Wondrous Fortune, Persuasion, Friendship, Gladiators, and Camaraderie. If those who don't know, Wondrous Fortune gives you refinement every time. Well, not every time, but 4%. After killing a foe, you have 4% chance of gaining refinement. Whenever you use an artifact power, your recovery, movement, action point gain, and cinnamon gain are increased by 10% of your power for 15 seconds. Pretty decent. Friendship. Whenever you summon your companion, you gain 1% of your power and defense for 10 seconds. This effect can stack up to 4 times. I like that. This I really don't see the need for. When your stamina is above 75%, you move 15% faster. When your stamina is below 25%, you gain 15% of your power as stamina gain. I kind of want to swap this out for Protector's Camaraderie. Right now, the second Camaraderie isn't really doing as well. So we'll see. Somewhere down the road, I will switch these out and see where it gets me. And then Camaraderie. Whenever your summon companion attacks, you gain 30% of your power and defense for 10 seconds. This effect stacks up to 4 times. One of the best for DPS, and as you can see, most of my insignias are filled with purple. In all honesty, these here, filling these last 3 with purple, is only going to give me 300 more power, and it's going to cost me about $1 million, 1.2 to 1.5 million, just to get 300 power, which I'm not too concerned at this point with. That ends the build that we're doing here. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything you want to talk about, any ideas for the upcoming future, please let me know. Leave your comment down below. And if you like and you want to see more videos of Nevewinter and other games that I'm playing, please hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated. And I will leave my link to my Twitch channel down below in the description. Thanks for stopping by. You guys have a great day.